The Plateau State Governorship Debate 2022, which will be live here on Equa Television International, will be coming on the 13th of August 2022. And it will actually air it live here on the show and also on all our social medias, handles, where you can actually vote live on the show of your favorite contestant and what you feel about all the people that are actually aspiring for the position of governorship in Plateau State. Yes, the program is the Dailies, and I am Sarah Elisha Dasham, and my co-host is Oholabi Tosin. Tosin, how are you doing?
Good morning, Sele.
How are you faring?
I'm good.
Hope you're keeping your fingers crossed for this debate, because I'm so excited. I really want to know what all these contestants have to say. It's one thing for you to say you want to contest, but it's another thing for us to truly know that if you actually have the capacity that is needed to rule Plateau State,
Yes, and it's very important. You know what we're going through even as a nation, and it begins from aspiring for position and for people to know what you have to offer. We've had so many manifestos, we've had so many promises, and at the long run, when these people assume this position, they tend to turn their backs against us. But this governorship debate that will be hosted by Equa Television International on the 13th of August will give us the opportunity to know people who are vying for the number one position on the plateau. Then we'll get to know what they have to offer, and also to our online audience, you have the opportunity to vote in, because with what they will say, who is capable. With their countenance, who is capable. You have the opportunity to vote in on that day to know who is capable of taking the position, even come forth the governorship election. Then also, it's also an important thing for us to know that the importance of having your PVC, because even if you participate in the online debate, it doesn't guarantee that that's the person who assumed position as a governor of Plateau State. But with your PVC, you can vote in the right person and vote out the wrong person. So it's also important for people, and we'll have the sensitization of the importance of having your PVC, and also not just stopping at having your PVC, to know the importance of using your PVC on the different dates of election. We have the general election, that's the 2023 presidential election. We're tired of complaining on social media. We're tired of complaining every day. We want to see changes, positive changes. Even the next person that will take the mantle of president even in our nation. So this debate is good. People need to know who is contesting for different positions, because believe you me, there are some people even on the plateau, they don't even know who is contesting for the position of governorship. But this will bring those people down. Yes, it will bring them to your platform for you to know them and even have a one-on-one with them. So it's very good. We just keep our finger crossed for the 13th of August for such day to be part of this debate.
Of course. So I just hope our viewers that it's not going to be about party, but it's going to be about the individual in that party, if they are capable of actually handling this position that's given to them. Well, let's run quickly through our papers, and I'll be starting with the Vanguard newspaper. The first story here: we can't afford another civil war, RFI tells NYC members. And you can read more of that on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. North Central APC stakeholders reject the Muslim ticket, and you can see the picture story down here showing the protest that took place, and they actually marched to the Aso Villa in Abuja yesterday to protest against the Muslim ticket. And you have been following the stories, the political atmosphere. You actually know that people have really been against this Muslim ticket. Khan spoke about it, and many other individuals came out to actually talk about it. And here we can see that the North Central of the APC are also, kicking against this Muslim ticket. And also, I even remember that looking at the position that the governor of Plateau State, Lalong, was giving, the North Central also kick against it. The governors of the North Central saying that if he was not capable of being the VP, why should he accept the slot of being the DG for the campaign? But then, just like we know the way politics is in the nation, regardless of what it is, just like you rightly stated the other day, he has already accepted the position. So whatever the issue is going to be, just like we said, just like I spoke about the issue going on in the PD, it's also settle their own internal crisis, look at the way forward, and so that we will know that the atmosphere is going to be clear, and 2023 general election is going to be fair, and also it will take place without any issues coming up here and there. Other stories still on Vanguard, which is on the subsidy. Reps summon finance minister demand payment documents from 2013 to 2022. This is alarming that the documents have not been checked. It's just now that the reps are actually trying to check. So imagine the auditing and other issues that will be, have to be checked. Looking at from 2013 to 2022. This is over 10 years if we are going to actually look at this. So we'll just keep looking at this, because by 2023 it's going to be 10 years. So this will be like 9 years document that the reps are actually asking for. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed, and to read more of that, you can check page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. Banks operate black market for loan collateral, asks industry group, with detail on page 19. The big story, which is on the PDP crisis, party leadership, Wike in standoff. This is coming from a source. Rider following that say party hawks one, Wike ignored. Rivers governor responds by allowing opposition inroads in Rivers. And we have Delta PDP backs IU demands tough stand on anti-party activities. Politician twisted, I'm fully in charge of Rivers vote declaration. This is coming from Governor Wike. Nigerian attains 44.30% broadband penetration, 84 million internet subscription, and 1 million compatriots die to keep Nigerians together. This is coming from Buhari. An Owo massacre, General Arabo, Governor Akeredolu confirms the arrest of killers. Detail found on page 7. Thank you for this, and we really appreciate God for this. Good news coming at this time, even though it's actually looking like it's late. But I'm happy that those who are behind the massacre have been apprehended, and I hope that others will actually be apprehended in the various parts. I mean, from Monday we've been seeing some good news coming from our security agency. They have upped their game, and they even said they're trying to change the tactics that they have been using. And I think it is, if you ask me, even though it's coming late, but then I'm really happy that they have seen the need to change the way they go about their operation, so that we can have peace and order in the country. Downside of the paper, which is on 2023, INEC denies backdating documents to accommodate APC, Lawan and Akpabio, with detail on page 7. Buhari holds fresh plan to deduct $480 million consultant fees from the Federation account. This is a report that can be found on page 8. Protect MBA from conspiracy to weaken it, Akpata tells lawyers, with detail found on page 12. And that's all on the Vanguard newspaper.
Thank you very much, Sally. On the Guardian newspaper, broadband penetration hits 44.5% as NCC reviews short code services. NAS warns political merchants restate focus on good governance. Reps begins fuel subsidy probe, subpoenas ministers, and details can be found in page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. On 2023, tension as Taraba government sanctioned 3 monarchs and 25 workers. The story says Wike remains boastful as cracks emerge in his camp. The rider Maiba Opara Ohihia falls out with Wike over Atiku. No move to divide Rivers PDP, says Atiku's camp. And Abe to Wike don't return Rivers to dark days of toxic politics. Maiba accuses Wike of working against Atiku and also the PDP. Twist as Delta PDP backs IU for supporting Sheriff's candidacy. The internal crisis rocking the national major opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, 6 months to presidential election did not show signs of abating yesterday, as peace talk between the party's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike remained in abeyance. Yesterday, Wike invited another top All Progressive Congress politicians to commission a project where the River Governor again boasted that his widely acknowledged outstanding stewardship in office reflects in his personal capacity and passion to deliver enduring development to the state, saying it has nothing to do with the party he belongs. He further boasted that with his performance in office, he has the capacity to influence votes in the state. And I would like to say, Wike is yet to come to term with the failure that's for not winning the primary of the presidential primary election. And I see this as him being bitter about the whole issue. And now, because the APC and even the PDP, sorry, they've tried to resolve this internal crisis before they can have their timetable. Believe you me, they are supposed to start campaigning for their presidential election, and now they need to settle this issue within themselves. And we see that it has been on a back and forth issue right from this week when they wanted to have a peace talk between Atiku and even Wike, and we see that it's all ending in deadlock. And just yesterday we saw where Wike commissioned a road in River State, and he invited the All Progressive Congress to come commission that road. It's left to him. He knew why he invited such the opposition party to come commission the road. And we know right from time there've been this issue where they don't even know where he stands. Is he going to APC? Is he going to Labour? They are just confused about the whole issue. And I would say before you can take charge of the whole nation, you have to take care of your little house. You have to take care of the issues you're having even as a party. But this should not come as a distraction to Nigerians. That's just what I have to say. Nigeria should not see this as a distraction, because if you cannot settle your internal crisis, then can you settle the whole issue we are going through in our nation? So this should not come as a distraction. People should just stand to own up to whoever they know that they want to vote into power for the presidential election. This should not distract us. They have it to settle amongst themselves. That's why the fact that they say there's still talks ongoing amongst themselves on how they will settle it, but it's left to them on how they will settle this issue. This should not come as a distraction to Nigerians. We should just stand with who we know that we want to vote, and we need to vote someone who is capable and someone who is competent and know how we will put hands together to run the course of this nation. Still on the Guardian newspaper, INEC denies recognizing Lawan Akpabio as senatorial candidate. Akeredolu, CDS confirms arrest of our church attack. And I would like to take a story. The Chief of Defense Staff, Lucky Irabo, on Tuesday said those behind the Owa attack have been arrested. Irabo said this during a meeting with editors and media executives in Abuja. According to him, the suspect will be paraded after an investigation have been concluded into the matter. Irabo said, "We have arrested those behind the dastardly act in Owo, and it was my intention to present them to the public, but because of my investigation that is still ongoing, I have to change my mind." We know that this attack was on the 5th of June, where the attack St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo, and it's really a good thing that these people who were behind this attack have been arrested. But we just hope that the right thing will be done to them, because we've had issues where people are arrested for the wrongdoings, and later on they are released and they become free men. Even in the society, they mingle back with people. But we just hope that something will be done and they'll go face the right penalty. We know that even after the attack on the 5th of June, there was speculations that these people have been arrested by Amotekun, and they said they've handed them over to the military, and the military said they have nobody in their custody. But now it's a good thing that they're admitting that they have these people in their custody, but they need to go through the wrath of the law. They need to go through the right punishment, because they've done great harm in the lives of people. They've killed people, they've displaced people of their properties. So the right punishment should be given to these people.
Of course,
that's all on the Guardian newspaper.
All right, let's take a look at the Daily Independent newspaper. And to our viewers, do not forget we're live on Facebook and also on YouTube. So please do well to drop your comment concerning all the stories that we've been reading, and we'll make sure we take your comment live on the show. And on Daily Independent, PDP crisis fester as pro-IU's protesters stormed the party secretariat, warned the party chairman to continue in office. You can read more of that inside the paper. Nigerian civil war was about self-centeredness. This is coming from President Muhammadu Buhari. The big story, how hashtag NSAS protests may shape outcome of the 2023 polls. Buhari addressed the issue, no more anger in the land. That is coming from Keyamo. Outcome of plenary report yet to be implemented. Nigerians are waiting to pay APC back. Umani loan Nigerian youth for Israelism to vote in the 2023, with detail on page 29. INEC denies recognizing Lawan Opabio as senatorial candidate. And broadband penetration hit 44.5% as NCC reviews the shortcode services. Doctors ask Buhari to review retirement age of consultants to 70. And the federal government disburses 100 billion naira to pharmaceutical companies. And I hope with this money that has been disbursed to the pharmaceutical companies, also we have to look at the resident. We're yet to hear anything being given to them or anything being done so that they can get back to the hospitals. Imagine the patients that actually need to be attended to, and then here we're hearing that they're still on strike. So I just hope that something will be done, even though we'll have to commend the federal government for sending or disbursing such a huge amount of money, but also of what use is the pharmaceutical companies without the doctors and without the patients taking it? I mean, it's of no essence. So I just hope that the federal government will look into that, looking at the outbreaks we're having, the monkeypox, the chickenpox, we're still having even cholera because it's still raining, not talk about the COVID that is still on. People need to even take their shots of the vaccination. So I just hope that the federal government will look into that. When another story here, we have no more passport booklet shortage in Nigeria. This is coming from the federal government. Another big story here says terrorists not lying siege to Abuja can stop 2023 elections. Defense chief says those behind Owo attack have been arrested. The last story here will be taking 4 feared killed in rival groups clash in Ilori. Detail found on page 6. And that's all on the Daily Independent newspaper.
On New Telegraph, Nigerian smartphone revenue hits $8.72 billion in 2022. Users to grow more than 40 million by 2025. Pressure on forex drags external reserve below $39 billion, with details in page 25. SAA issues fresh modalities for ticket sale in dollars as foreign airlines groan as forex crisis worsens. Military arrest perpetrators of our church attack, and the Chief of Defense Staff Armed Forces will ensure nothing stop the 2023 polls. NCC remits 463 billion naira to federal government consolidation revenue fund in 7 years, says Nigerian broadband penetration hit 44.5%. And also in Katsina State, we have bad roads claim lives of 45 pregnant women. And Benue record 15 cases of Lassa fever in 8 months. And I'll talk about this. I say it's not just in Katsina State that we're having the issues of bad roads and claiming the lives of so many people. Tell you need to see the roads, the condition of the Nigerian roads. They are not in good condition. You see some roads with potholes at the middle of the road as deep as that of a gutter. So we just need to look out to ways our roads can be improved, our roads can be constructed. We're having issue with roads and they are being used as trap by bandits. Now we see the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, we see the Kaduna-Abuja Highway. It's now used as trap by terrorist group. They abduct people on those highway and demand for. And now people are resorting to use the train transportation, and it's a no-go area now because of what just happened. What happened where people were abducted and some are still even in the den of kidnappers, and ransoms are being demanded every day from the loved ones of these people. What about going to the aviation sector? It's nothing to write home about. So we just need our roads to be of good state, deplorable for people to be able to move on this highway. So like there are people who do their business and they need to travel from one state to the other. Interstate traveling now becomes something else. Our roads are nothing to write home about. So we need to look out for ways our road can be in good condition condition. We see now we are recording deaths of people on our highways. And now we see pregnant women, even in Katsina, are dying because they need to transport themselves from one place to the other. Look at the issue of insecurity. People need to run from one place to the other. What happened to our road, the road transportation? So we need to look into all this, not just in Katsina State, but the whole road entirely. Now we see that community are the ones resolving to filling up those potholes, and they demand for money even from travelers on those highways, and it's not their duty, Sele. So we need to look into this. The government need to look into this. The Ministry of Transportation need to look into this and look out for ways roads can be constructed, and they should be of high standard, because not just low standard whereby between a year or 6 months the roads go back to the previous shape it was. So we need to look into how roads can be constructed and the roads can be improved upon. Then we'll look out for ways security also can be guaranteed even on the highways. On New Telegraph, the big story on 2023 Presidential Campaign Council, more crisis in APC as North Central reject DG position. 6 Buhari stands on same fate candidacy. We are yet to recognize Lawan Akpabio as candidate. And PRP asks court to stop Bauchi governor, ex-CAS over double nomination. This is coming from President Muhammadu Buhari to politicians. Self-centeredness leading to civil war mustn't repeat itself. And details can be found in page 2. And I would like to talk about the issue of self-centeredness. What do Mr. President refer as self-centeredness? Because if we talk about self-centeredness, and I see self-centeredness displayed even in himself, Sele, we see that he's the Minister of Petroleum, and we're having issues with this petroleum, and it's not supposed to be. You're supposed to have a Minister of Petroleum, but Mr. President took it upon himself to be Minister of Petroleum, and right from the inception of 2022, we've been having issues with our petrol. We had the issue of adulterated petrol. It's damaged so many cars. It damaged engines. We have the long queues on our filling station. He came up and apologized, and with apology, we've not seen any changes. We see the issue of the ASU strike ongoing, and their children are not studying in schools here. No wonder the bill was not even passed for children of politicians and any stakeholders for their children to study in this country. Immediately they rejected it. Is that not self-centeredness, Sele? What about Mr. President? His children, none of them studied here. His daughter is now the wife of Pantami. So you can see all these things happening. They are connecting themselves to themselves, and we know that even Pantami he's having issues of money laundering, and nothing is being said. Mr. President have the right to even order this man. He has the right to even for Pantami to be sanctioned, but nothing was said about it. What about the governor of Kano State, Ganduje? He was known about for the issue of collecting dollar bribe. Mr. President said nothing about it. Is that not self-centeredness alone? We see the First Lady. She's not. She stays in Dubai. She's not here. Is that not self-centeredness? So if we need to talk to people, if we need to talk to politicians, we should be the example. We should be examples where people should learn from. Because I wonder what he's telling politicians about self-centeredness when it's all displayed in you, it's displayed in your cabinet. So we need to look into all these things. Before you advise people, you need to look at yourself before you can advise other people. Individuals, not parties, make leadership difference. This is coming from Nyesom Wiki. As he boasts he can still perform outside PDP, then he should come up. If he's going to another party, then he should let people know. He should decamp so that people, the PDP will not have issues of trying to resolve the issue they are having with him, and he's now being boastful about it. And now we see 2023 presidency, Tinubu most experienced candidate. This is coming from Oshun Monarch. Victor Ume is saying God making statement with Obi. Details can be found in page 3 and 30 of the New Telegraph. On fuel pump price, marketer says federal government hasn't updated cost template in years. Say present prices mere cost recovery. And on subsidy, reps summon finance minister, Sahara Energy CEO and others. Oil price falls to $95 over plans on Iran nuclear deal. And this is coming from marketers. We have a study here on daily multivitamin may not benefit health. Details can be found in page 8, and that's all on the New Telegraph paper.
And on the midweek Ajezra newspaper, Ekweremadu, Ohanize raises fresh alarm cries to ECOWAS and the federal government. Detail found on page 14. Badagry port to generate $54 billion, create 250,000 jobs. Detail of that can be found on page 24, and I hope that the youth will be remembered or also be involved in this 250,000 jobs. It will not just reflect on our papers, but we'll see that people, especially those living among the neighborhood around there in Badagry, will actually actually benefit from this job that is being created here. Suspects behind Owo Church massacre arrested. This is coming from Irabo. And the Bauchi Governor ex-Air Chief Abubakar Siu for alleged double nomination. Detail found also on page 10. And a 2023 budgetary allocation to education lowest. This is a report. And actually, I think we really need to go back to look at the budget when it comes to the 2023 budget that has been submitted. What is the allocation being given to the education sector? Because the educational sector is supposed to be having, if not the highest, one of the highest allocations, because if you're going to talk about the success or the growth of any nation, then education has to be really, really thoroughly looked into. So I think education needs to have, when you're talking about the education should have one of the top. The health sector also needs to have one of the top. And then we also have to look at our transport sector, because these are sectors that are crumbling little by little. And if something is not done about it, just in the next 5 to 10 years, I don't know what is going to be the story of education in Nigeria any longer. So I just believe that if this is the lowest, then we have to really, really look into it. The big story here, debtors, Nigeria fourth on the World Bank list. Yesterday we were told there's a third. Today we are seeing that they are the fourth on the World Bank list. And the writer said it owes $13 billion as of June 2022. Debt different from the IPRD's $486 million loan. And the high debt affecting infrastructure investment. This is coming from the DMO, where it's not about having the infrastructure, but the infrastructure that they have in individuals to occupy it. Because if we're going to talk about infrastructure, then we say schools. But then when there's no students in the school, what do we have to do about the infrastructure or the hospitals where we are having the buildings and then there are no doctors or there are no patients to occupy it? So we have to look into not just investing in infrastructure, but also investing that these infrastructures are generating something to the country at the end of the day. Also still on the Made with Ajezra newspaper, election riggers will be shocked in 2023. This is coming from Abia Youth with detail on page 8. Troops arrest 7 suspected Boko Haram suppliers, rescue victims with detail found on page 11. And confusion as NUPRC rejects Buhari's approval of ExxonMobil Seplet $1.6 billion deal with detail found on page 22. We also have a picture story here too. You can actually grab that Jezra made with paper, read detail of any of the story that is of interest to you. But before we move further, Tosi, I would like us to take a break where we'll open the phone lines for our callers and just call us and let us hear what your views are concerning Nigeria being the fourth on debtors and coming from the World Bank, and also the issue going on in the APC, North Central, and also the internal crisis in PDP. So do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, the program is the Dailies on Echo Television International, and I have Sele Elisha Dasham alongside I have Owolabi Tosin. Thank you for doing this with me. Yes, right at this moment our phone lines are open, so please do well to call us, and when you call us, please move away from your TV set so that we can actually hear you, and remember that you have just 30 seconds to make your point. So let's move further to other papers.
Okay, on the Nation newspaper, FIRS demand 1 trillion naira tax remittance from MDAs. 15 states fail to implement 30,000 naira wage for teachers, and RCCG ordains over 15,000 ministers at 70th convention. Ondo Assembly declares 2 seats vacant, and Nigeria can't afford another civil war, Buhari tells politicians as president preaches unity. Nigeria cannot afford another civil war, President Muhammadu Buhari said yesterday. He urged the political class to preserve the community's unity, the country's unity, through patriotic acts. I can't sway Rivers vote, Wike boasts, and Atiku not interested in genuine truth, says governor's men. Senate orders NIMASA to explain $5 million payment to law firms, and details can be found in page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Downside, we have 5 suspects, 1 accomplice held over our church attack. And Tony Irabo is saying Nigeria does not need mercenaries. We have been trailing attackers, says Akere Dulu. The suspects, we have Idris Ojo, Jimo Ibrahim, Idris Abdul Malik, Momo Abubakar, Aliu Itopa, and Awal Onimisi. NCC remitted 463 billion naira in 5 years, and customs seizes 12 trucks of smuggled rice. That's all on the Nation newspaper.
And on the leadership newspaper, Reps summon finance minister over the subsidy payment, with detail found on page 8. We have given 100 billion naira to indigenous pharmaceutical manufacturers. This is coming from President Muhammadu Buhari. And here we are having some briefing. We have Nigeria loses 4.2 trillion naira to crude oil theft in the first quarter of 2022. Troll collection fueling traffic on Apapa Tinkan Port Access Road. This is coming from the Shippers Council. You can read more of that on page 7. The Nigerian Shippers Council yesterday said the physical troll collection by agents of the Lagos State government was fueling traffic gridlock on the Port Access Road. Speaking during an okay, we have a caller. Hello, Nathan. Good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan.
Good morning. Can I go on to talk now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to comment on 2 issues. One is Nigerian politics, and the reference is the comments of Muhammadu Buhari concerning the civil war. Number 1, he said self-centered caused a civil war. That was not true. Secondly, if you're talking of self-centered, how would Muhammadu Buhari, his appointment, is it not self-centered appointment he did? When he appointed particular set of people belonging to his cabals, to positions and every offices, then that are capable. Is that not self-centered? Now, when you come to NNPC, you have Buhari and the one of his about controlling the oil. Is that not self-centered? When you come to WAF, Nigerian Seaport, Custom, you have Buhari and the one retired colonel controlling the seaport and custom. Is that not self-centered? That means if he said that it was self-centered that caused the war, that means he is trying to provoke Nigeria into another civil war. That's the point. And that's the hypocrisy. Now, come to politics concerning Wike and the PDP. Normally, politics means who gets what. their issue and their discussion. There's an agreement between the North and the South concerning presidency, rotation, and the shift. It started in 1999 when it was the position for the South. They left it between Obasanjo and one of his vice men. Now, after them, they shifted to North between Yaradua and the Buhari. Now, after that, they shifted again to the South. Then, after Goodluck Jonathan, now it now went to the North. Now, this time around, normally, Atiku Abubakar should have come out to contest. Wike is making, in fact, he's making a good movement. And all his actions he's taking is a kind of telling Atiku Abubakar to go back, that this time it's not his time to come as a president from the North. Then after South now did their own, we now shift to the North. Then now the North, they're now breaking the agreement. So that's politics. Now my comment on politics concerning that Wike issue and Atiku Abubakar and others. Thank you very much.
Thank you
so
very much.
Yeah, Anita. You know, he actually pointed out the issues of what President Mahmoud said about self-centeredness, which also highlighted that whatever you're going to, if you're going to caution your politicians, then you should start from within. And also looking at the, you know, the issues of the PDP. Well, from the onset, it was clear, it was glaring when PDP said they were not going to zone this to the South. And it's not just about one party. So to take a look at all the parties we have. The only party presently that is having some from the South is the Labour Party. So it's not just about one party. We have to check individually. It still goes back to being self-centered. Why don't you want to zone it to this particular part of the nation? So regardless of whether it is, we know the way the political atmosphere is. So we just keep our fingers crossed and we just hope that at the end of the day, these issues will be, you know, resolved and there will be growth forward. We're still on the leadership newspaper, Tose. I think the next story here I have say how military, DSS and others arrested Owo church attackers. This is coming from the CDS. And then the big story here say INEC exonerates staff over PVC's dump in streets. The rider following that say political party CSO asked the commission to unravel the mystery. Vow to ensure effective monitoring of 2023 elections. Election will hold next year, military assures Nigerians. And then other stories here we have that says Kenya 2022 Odiga Ruto in tight race for the president. And we know yesterday was the presidential election in Kenya. And we have some picture story here too. So do well to get the leadership newspaper and read any of the story that is of interest to you.
On national economy, broadband penetration hits 44.5% as NCC reveals short code services. Nigeria heads towards third economic recession in 7 years. Economists raised concern over debt servicing exceeding revenue and urged federal government to tackle insecurity and remove petrol subsidy.
Sorry, Tosin. Hello, Stephen from Nasera. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
We can, please go on. Move away from your TV set, please.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
I want to comment on the issue of selfishness which Buhari is talking about.
Okay, go on, please.
I think he should be the one who is selfish, just like you rightly said. But my comment is on whom you are saying that he's trying to stabilize the party and all that. I think that what he's doing is right, because this man didn't see him as somebody that he was to be reckoned with. You know, he was the one that the governor
wanted him to be the deputy, to be the vice president. But eventually he decided not to take him, saying that he was going to have problem with him. And that is why he is behaving in this manner, just because of what he did. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Tosin, let's go on.
On the national economy, Rep summon finance minister over 6.7 trillion naira for subsidy projection. Federal government disburses 100 billion naira to indigenous pharmaceutical manufacturers, and toll collection compounding traffic on Lagos Port Access Road. This is coming from the Shippers Council, with details in page 4 of the National Economy. That's all on National Economy paper.
And on this day newspaper, thank you, Tosin. Federal government to Nigerians, don't allow another civil war in the country. Say self-centeredness, cause of war that claim 1 million lives. Declares that Nigeria will remain one. Hello, Stephen from Taraba. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Morning, Stephen. Please go on. You have 30 seconds.
How are you now?
Fine, thank you. Hello, Stephen. Are you there?
I'd like to comment concerning this. People that
Okay.
I heard that people say from that inside. So, for my own view, I'd like to come about our government people. Please, I hope they don't get well because they destroy our people most. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen. We're still on this day newspaper. Dollar crisis. Nigeria rated most crypto-obsessed nation in the world. Detail found on page 8. We are having how Buhari shut down $480 million Paris Club reform. The writer following that say President set up committee to review the case. We have the Federal Executive Council agrees it's insensitive to current reality, nation's mood. You can read more of that on page 10 of this day newspaper. And the defense headquarters, we have arrested the suspect of our Catholic Church attack. Rules out use of mercenaries in fight against terrorists. Insists Abuja is safe. Akeredolu confirms arrest of 5 suspected church attackers. Afenifere welcomes the development. Well, I hope for this Abuja being safe, this we have to talk with the residents. So we'd like you to call us and let us say, how is the atmosphere right now in Abuja? Is it safe? And people should really know that it's actually safe to be in Abuja, to know that the security are really, really working hard. And we also have here, Wike insult elders, bullies others, allege governors estranged ally, with detail found on page 2. And here we're having a courtesy visit to the president by the newly elected NOC of the NMA. You can read detail of that on this day newspaper. That's all on this day newspaper. Okay, just before you go on, we have another caller. Hello, Do.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Are you hearing me?
Do we can hear you. Please
Hello.
go on.
Yes, I want to speak on the political crisis going on.
Okay.
You see, when something is going wrong, or pardon?
We can hear you. Go on.
When when you are not doing the right thing, we must expect crisis like that in all the political axes, because the wrong things are done in the politics. They are doing the wrong things, selfish interest, as we have been saying. And a lot of things going on, no truth, nothing, the selfishness. So we must expect such things. Crisis must go on. But if we are doing the right thing, we will not expect such things here. So I think that is what I think.
Thank you, Joe, for that very powerful contribution. Tosi, let's move further.
Okay, I'll take the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Reps summon finance minister demand details of 6.7 trillion naira subsidy for 2022 to quiz CBN, NNPC and others. President Muhammadu Buhari has this to say. He said, since 1966, we have killed 1 million of ourselves to keep this country together. Nigeria will remain one. Nigeria can't afford another civil war. This is coming from Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. And Serena set to retire. Our church killings, how suspects were arrested. This is coming from the Chief of Defense Staff and also Ondo State Governor. The home where they lodged in Owo was identified and the person...
Okay, sorry. We have Honorable from Abba. Good morning. Hello, Honorable. Are you there? Okay. Honorable. Okay, I think you have to end that call and call us back again, please.
Okay, the writer following the story from the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, says the home where they lodged in Owo was identified and the person that lodged them before the attack have been arrested. APC to commence presidential campaign September 28. National Working Committee holds meeting today, and the full details can be found on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. EFCC arrest 47 for alleged internet fraud in Ibadan and Lokoja. Ikoyi building collapses Ikoyi building collapsed due to negligence by agencies. This is coming from Okorona.
Okay, we have Uchenna from Benin Republic. Good morning. Uchenna, if you're there, please go on.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, we can hear you. Please go on. You have 30 seconds.
My take is on our suspects.
Okay, you need to stop listening to your TV set and just speak. We can hear you. Okay, I think I have to cut that call. Please, Tosi, let's go.
Okay, the last story on the Nigerian Tribune senatorial seat. INEC denies giving recognition to Lawan and Akpabio. And a picture story, a Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ambassador James Christoph, receiving a letter from a corps member during the passing out parade for the 2022 batch B Stream 2 National Youth Service Corps orientation course at the Federal Capital Territory, the permanent orientation camp at Kubwa, Abuja on Tuesday. And with him is the NYSC FCT coordinator, Alhaji Suleiman Abdul. And that's all on the Nigerian Tribune paper.
Okay, let me round up with the Business Day newspaper. And the first story I'll be taking on the Business Day newspaper, Nigerians' dear fiscal state worsen without subsidy removal. This is coming from the budget office. Netflix, Amazon contest for audience with Nollywood. You can actually read more of that on page 30. 25 carriers shelf takeoff plans amid the rising costs. You can turn to page 31 for that. The big story on Business Day newspaper, businesses incur billions in demurrage as custom processes drag. We have other smaller stories here on the Business Day newspaper, so you can do well to get the Business Day and read any of the stories that is of interest to you. Thank you so much to our callers, and thank you so much to our viewers for always making a day with us on the Dailies. Until we come your way again tomorrow, stay tuned for Nigeria Now by 10 o'clock.